All right, part two, welcome back. I'm going to show you what's going on. We had a couple of developments since you've been gone. I did hit another piece of metal because I saw black staining near the piece that I hit in the last video. If you didn't watch the last video, watch it. And I tried to dig it out and I couldn't find any. So I said, you know what, while this band is roached, I'm going to take a flitch off this side. And I took a 2-inch flitch off because I needed to get rid of some wane anyway. I'll show you in a second. And now we're at the stage where we're going to flip it up and we're going to cut it into 2 cants and map out how we're going to go through this. I was trying to decide which band I was going to run because I got something to show you. And I took the Silvertip Turbo 7 inside with me when I went in for lunch, and I sharpened it quick. All I did was just do a real light face grind because it was still cutting fine. It actually cut better after I nicked the second piece of metal. I just nicked it, and I think what it did is, what happens is on your tooth, when you hit a piece of metal, sometimes you'll get a piece of metal will kind of stick to the face of the tooth right up at the tip and curl over when you hit soft metal. And I think what happened was a bunch of those came off, and it cut better after that. But we got another target, and I think the way I have this figured out, I'm going to miss it. But if I don't miss it, I'm going to hit it on this band that's already pumped out, 400 board feet, and that it's had one face grind on it. So let's take a look at what's going on here. So there is the 2-inch flitch that I took off right there. That'll actually yield me 2 boards. Right here is where I nicked the piece, and it was a fairly good little chunk. I guess I knocked it off here. I don't see it sitting here. It had the head on it, and it broke way down inside. There's a chance I'm going to miss this. That the 2-inch cut here, in theory, is going to miss it on this side, and then the 2-inch cut on above it would miss it too. Or there is a teeny little bit of wane right here, or sapwood. And for a trailer, I'm not going to really worry about that. There is some down the bottom too, but to get on scale, on 8/4 scale, if I have to take a cut off the top of this to get myself on scale, it would be a little less than 2 inches, and that would work perfect. So we're going to flip this up, and I'm going to clean this side up 100%. so that I can scale off of this side. And hopefully I'm going to have to take some sort of truing cut to get on scale. That'll get me close to that piece of metal. That will help. And the way this is going to work, if you look at this end down here, is we're going to get a 6.5 inch cant right here, and then we're probably going to take a chunk out of the middle, and then a 6.5 inch cant on the top, and then whatever we have to take out of the top to get to that number. And I'll show you how I map that out in a minute. Actually, we're going to be flipping it up, so I'll take you down there, and we are going to pull. And the only problem with that 6.5 inch can on the bottom, if I could move it, is that piece of wane right there. We're going to see how bad that is in a minute. If I have to, well, that could be where that truant cut would be up there. I don't think I have any choice but to run that in that direction so I don't have any cracks in the boards. However, I don't know if you guys can see this. These cracks, these checks don't run very far. They're just little checks, so I don't think there'd be a huge problem either way. So there's a chance if I get 12 up here, I could take the 2 cants out of here. We're going to have to see. So let's go ahead. We're going to fire up the hydraulics. I'll let you watch me flip this up, which it all seems to be working perfect now. If I could just get the controls down, then everything would be great. I am going to put my stops up and get my other stops put away. So hopefully it turns good against the other stops. See if it starts without choke. those work, I'll tell you, manual stops work great for turning the big log against the roll. Now it is interesting that, oh, I see, I'm not clamped all the way over yet, but I do, yeah, I missed the stop there or something. You get my clamp down a little bit and clamp it over. I'm not clamped over enough. All right, so we got that part done. Now we'll go to cutting on it. And we're going to mark up 6.5. We're going to put a mark. We're going to take a 2-inch cut out of the middle. So we'll come up to, it'll be 6.5, 8.5, 8 5/8. We'll make a mark. And then we'll go up another 6.5. Here, I'll let you watch me do it. View from here. We'll make some marks on this real quick, just so we kind of know where to cut the top. I'm gonna fire up the regular mill. Probably gonna need choke. It's been out here for a little while. All right, so I probably can't make a mark at 6.5. I can't go down enough to do it. So with the 6.5, 8 5/8, 14 3/4, right there. And I'm not clear there, so I can't do that one. That's going to give me that 6.5 there. I want that 3.5. So let's add another 2 to that. 14 3/4, 16 and 7/8. 7/8. Right there. Actually, that looks like a reasonable process. So what I want to do is I want to and then I'm going to take 2 2-inch flitches out of it, and that's going to leave me 6.5 on the bottom. So if we do this, since I can't mark it with the saw, let's do this. I'm going to pause you guys 1 second. We're going to mark it with let's mark this out with a level. Let me just grab a pencil and be right back. Okay, so you can visualize this, and so I can visualize it. I'm going to come up 6.5, which is right there. And I can go ahead and let's just strike a line right there. Then I want to come, that's 6.5. I want to take a 2-inch flitch. Yep, that's perfect. Which is 8.5 plus 1/8. So 8 5/8, which is right there. That's 8 5/8. Then I want to go to 10 5/8 plus 1/8. It's 10 3/4. Right there. So that's 10 3/4. That's 8 5/8. There. All right, so that's 10 3/4. Then we want to come up 6.5. is 16 and 3/4, 17 and 1/4 is 6 1/2, 17 and 3/8. Let's make sure that should be 4 1/4, which it is, and then 6. All right, 10 and 3/4. 16 and 3/4 is 6. 17 and 1/4 is 6 1/2 and an 8. 17 and 3/8, which is right here. So this, actually, my math on the other way was wrong. Gosh, darn it, man. 17 and 3/8. And 3/8. So we're going to make a mark there, and then probably come up 2 inches, which is going to be 19 and 3/8 and an 1/8 is 19 and 1/2. Take my top cut at 19 and 1/2. And a 2-inch flitch. So 19 and 1/2. 2-inch flitch, drop 6 1/2. 2 2-inch flitches here in this mess, and then a 6 1/2-inch can on the bottom. That should work out right. I can go ahead just so that I can make sure I don't see a mistake. This should be, that line should be 19 and 1/2. That just makes it so I get the most out of this long side. And then when we rotate it, we will take a 2-inch flitch out of this side. Well, we don't even really need to, because we can just take it out of the, you're going to have, might mess with that other 6 1/2. I need to take the top off this, take the 2-inch flitch out, then roll it, or I'm going to lose a board in the middle there. If I don't take that 2-inch flitch off that side where all that wane is, I lose a board down the middle of that flitch. So let's take the top off it at 19 and 3/4. Let me get you guys in a good spot, good viewing spot here. Or 19, whatever that measurement was. I think it's 19 and 1/2. We'll take it off at 19 and 1/2. See how this band cuts. Hopefully it doesn't turn into a metal detector. I did that, I can take my 6.5 either way, so I don't have to flip it twice. I can take that, I can make the 6.5 chunk. It's going to be on the bottom either way. It starts from the bottom, both sides. Really beautiful. Definitely a good 6.5 in this one. Down, down. Out of this side. Cut beautiful, nice and flat and smooth. So let's start this thing up and see if we can get this thing flipped. this off. We'll dig that metal out, and then we can flip it up and blow it into the cants that we need. This is that one. Looks like it. Looks like it's in that same area. I think that's the one that I broke off that I was trying to get out. Oh yeah, it is. No, it's not. Probably the metal bleed from this one. I don't know. I lost my way a little bit there. I thought it was. I think we've already taken off the other chunk of metal. Because that was on. No, it was on this face. I don't know. Maybe it was on the other side. Well, I'm going to pause you guys, get this metal out, and keep going, and change bands and all that happy stuff. All right, I got the metal out. We're going to turn it. Alright, so I think I do. I just have one more metal target on this. I put on a Stella Cut band that was in the back of my truck going to be sharpened. And we have to take this 6.5 inch off here and two 2-inch flitches, leaving us 6.5 on the bottom. We'll actually mark this out with the saw real quick. And this I'm going to take off the mill. Onto the forks. Because I can't, I don't think I can cut, I don't think I have the clearance to cut all the way. No, I don't. So it's got to come off. So we'll have to take that off on the forks, and then we'll take the two 2s off, put them up there, put that one back up, and cut the two 6.5s together. This cut here, man, it's gonna just nick it. It's gonna just nick that piece of metal. Not on this cut, on another cut. So let's get ourselves back there. I won't be able to mark it because I can't get clearance. Unfortunately for me, I have a whole bunch of shit on forks. Alright, let's see if we can get in there like this. See how heavy that can be? Take two 2-inch flitches off here, not flitches, two 2-inch boards. These are gonna be kind of in the crack zone. And put them up there. And put this back up here, and we'll cut both of them at the same time. And that quarters right now. 7/8. Was 10 3/4. Go on at 10 3/4. Yeah. Okay, it was 10 3/4. So we're gonna drop down to 8 5/8. That'll be a 2-inch flitch. Not flitch. Cool. We'll have a decision to make here too, since I have nice 12s there on top. They're not all cracked up. In my trailer diagram, I'll use those. They could work in the outside 2 bays and put one on each side. Let's go over here, take these off. Or I can split them right down the middle into 6s because I need 6s for the fan, for the tailgate, or the angled fan tail of the angled fan tail of the deck. I need 6.5 6-inch wide planks there. I was just going to cut them at 6.5 with everything else, and then let them just rip one board to fit. But since I got a couple of 12s, and these actually came out pretty nice, they're not cracked up, and that's only 8'3", I think, on that part. I could cut the ends off. I could rip these into 2 6s. Into 2 6s and cut the ends off where these cracks are. And it'll work out perfect. Yeah. Wow. Medullary haze and that. Yeah, these will work out perfect for 8s. Take off this end 3 feet. And actually that end 3 feet, the reason I'm cutting 11 twos, that end 3 feet. So the trailer has 2 angles on it. Goes up like this and then angles a little bit, and that's a little 2-foot section of boards going across, and then it goes into the flat. The 8 3s go sideways, and I had already figured if I just cut everything at 11.2, that gives me an offcut on the end to use in that little 2-foot section going the other way. So that might work too, especially if I cut them both at 6s, because they're going to have to rip one down in a 31.5 dimension, and that'll take care of that for them too. So I'm actually going to cut these one at a time. I don't really think that you need to sit around to watch me rip the 2-inch boards. I think you kind of get the gist of it. I'm going to cut this one out into 2-inch boards, stack them up there, and I'm going to put that one up here, cut that out in 2-inch boards, stack it up there. I'll label all of them, and I know that I'm going to hit a piece of metal, but I will label all of them, put them over in the stack with the ones that I have stickered over there, and then tomorrow's going to be edging day. I got to edge those all into whatever's good, and these into whatever's good out of them. Take that all off, and I'm going to be pretty close, I think, on the whole order. I believe, anyway. So it's amazing how time goes, but this one I don't know if I don't think this one has any metal in it, but this one I know this one does. Let me see, there's one little black trailer right there on the side, but that could have been the trailer from where I took that metal out right there. So basically all I'm going to do is flip this thing up, get on 2-inch scale. I will probably, if I'm putting that on the bottom, that little ripped hole, I'll scale off the top to cut my boards, or I'll just flip it backwards and cut it. Scale off the bottom would work fine too. So I think that's maybe what I'll do. I'll just flip it up this way and then cut it out, and we'll deal with these tomorrow. They're all frozen. I got maybe a couple of boards in those. Actually, I have, I think, 1, 2, 3. There's like 4 shorter boards in those that are going to work for the fantail. The stuff that I've already cut and tagged is over there. This is going to make a bunch more. This is just going to be, because of that rot spot in the middle of this log, which you can see there and here, that I had to cut it, and you can see it on the back side of that one out there. And I had to cut those chunks out. It ruined this whole job. Now it's a big segmented mess. So one way or another, I'll be done tomorrow. I'm going to keep working at this, and I'm going to keep cutting with that dull Stella cut band, because I know I'm going to hit metal again. And then it's just going to be into edging, you know, piece by piece by piece. I'll get my list out here and just start tagging pieces and taking them off and tagging them and taking them off, and see how it's going to go. Let's see what we ended up with here for a width. So I'm going to get 5 out of this. So I'm getting 10 here. These two, I think it just makes more sense to give them a better product to cut these down into those 8 3s and cut them both in half for the 6-inch part. It has to be 4'6", so it makes sense to cut them all 6s for that one section. And that'll get rid of some of the checking in the ends so that we don't have to worry about it. You can see right here, it's right there. So that'll all come off. and it'll give them good boards. And these, it's pretty much just going to be edge them however it makes the most sense. Edge off the sapwood, see what you got left. If you can, get it to 13 inches, then you can make 2 6.5. There's 17 now. Almost 17 and a half. So you're going to cut some off the sides to true them up, and then turn them into 2 6.5s probably. Yeah, that's going to give you a little bit off each side. And you can see there's wane down there. So, that's going to come off, and then you get 2 boards out of that, and it's going to be a mess. It's going to be edge, 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 edge. But I want to give them a good product. It's good company, and I appreciate the business, and hopefully I don't fall down. See Danny walking on this ice over here. I'm definitely going to fall down. See Danny in there hunting. There he is. Hunting for chipmunks, baby. So I appreciate the watch. I don't really think it was I don't know how great a video it is. It's a beautiful log. I mean, it really is. And all the bands I've used so far, aside from that little bout with the metal, all the bands I've used so far have cut really good. They cut flat. Everything seems to be working good. I don't have any problem turning these huge things. I'll get better at it the more I mess around with it, the more I learn. I got to put some tags on the controls so that they tell you which one does what, but they don't tell you which way it goes. So I got to get some of those. I got the whole in-out thing on the clamp. You push it in for it to go out, you pull it out for it to go in. But that's pretty much it, guys. So frozen ass day. I wish things had gone better, but it's a big log, and whenever you cut oak, I don't know what it is. There's no other log like it. There's, maybe some big black locust. When you're cutting big black locust, they're usually loaded with metal. Black locust and black and red oak are incredible that they just got metal in them every single effing time. It's unbelievable. But I got to get this order out the door. It's a big payday. And then I've got tons more cutting to do. Much more simple stuff than this. This is a little bit more complicated because I got to make sure that they're going to be able to cover their deck with this and not have a ton of cutting on their own to do. So, I could just give them all full size. I mean, I could give them the stack and let them deal with it, but that's not being a good sawyer. And that's why I'm doing it this way and tagging it like that is over there so that they can just look at the thing and they know where the boards are going. And if they do have to rip a board, with a circular saw, they're only 2 inches thick, to get a board to fit, then they can do that. That's how I do it when I'm decking a trailer. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to get back at it, and appreciate the watch. Hit me up with anything. Wish it was more exciting, but it's really not. Wrecking bands and carrying heavy shit. But the mill's functioning right, so just finding metal on every cut. Pirate Solutions out.